So I want to give you a little rundown, of myself, being that some of you all may be new to the channel. First and foremost, welcome. You're welcome here, right? My name is Langston 2092, and I'm an author, I'm an MC, I'm a vegetarian chef, I'm a personal trainer. I'm a man that has that basically wears many hats, right? But on YouTube, I'm really known for the videos that I've done called Confessions of an Ex-Nuwaubians, part 1, 2 through like 33, if I'm not mistaken, where I talk about, me being a Nuwaubian, my experience in the Nuwaubian cult, or they may say organization, right? So for those that are interested in looking at those parts, I'll put the playlist link inside the comment section of this video, okay? Now, let me give you all a little background before I begin, talking about, SaNeter and him supporting the Nuwaubians, right? I joined the Nuwaubian cult in 97. I was a member of AEO, Ancient Egyptian Order. I also was a member of AMOM, which is the Ancient Mystic Order of Melchizedek. I've been down in the land several times. I've physically seen Dr. Malachi Z.york teach on the land several times. I've been to several Savior's Days. I've been to the Nuwaubian Ball before. I used to be part of two bookstores, right? I used to go when I used to visit my father, and I lived in New York. I would go to the Bushwick bookstore. I would sit there and look at, what's her name? SaNeter teach. I've been part of this organization of what they call organization. I've been part of this cult for a little over 15 years. Until one day I woke up. I looked at Chuck Morgan's videos, and I saw, the different victims that, were molested by Dr. Malachi Z.york, and it was like, yo, I never got their perspective. I always got the Nuwaubians' perspective, and I didn't care about their perspective, the victims, right? But when I heard the things that happened to them, it just blew my mind. And I had to come out and speak my truth. Yeah, true indeed. I was not molested. I never lived on the land, any of that. But what's so funny about the situation is that all ex-Nuwaubians have a truth. If you weren't physically abused, you were mentally abused. So I had to come out with those videos called Confessions of an Ex-Nuwaubian in order to show the world what you have to go through in order to be a Nuwaubian, right? So now we're here right now. You may ask, well, why are you doing this video, Langston? And the reason why I'm doing this video is because every time a Nuwaubian comes out and speaks their truth, so-called truth, they're in reality trying to get other people to free a man that admitted that he was guilty of child molestation. We don't need a man like that because he's dangerous. He's a menace to society. And two, they want to recruit new members to their cult. And I want to stop that. Black people have been used and abused for so long till it doesn't make any sense. And it just so happened that we come across this teacher, right? This guy called Dr. Malachi Z.york that's really not a doctor because he got his GED in prison. Never went to no college. He's a swindler. So we thinking that this man is along the lines of a Dr. Martin Luther King, a Malcolm X, a Marcus Garvey, a Noble Drew Ali, and which he's not. Because those people, those men, would have never admit to child molestation charges if they were innocent. So we aligned him up with them, and we trusted him as him being our master teacher. And all along, he was plagiarizing books, molesting children, taking people's money. Come on, man. See, this is the thing. This is what bothers me about the whole situation. I just don't understand SaNeter. I just don't understand how SaNeter would support the Nuwaubians and give them a platform in order to reach people telling lies. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. In this particular video that he did as of recent, he was interviewing this guy called the real Nuwaubian. Like, I just don't really understand that. Should I use their type of, jargon? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. What is really a real Nuwaubian? Because the last time I checked, the Nuwaubians left that school of Nuwaubu and they moved on, and they're calling themselves Sabians now. So why haven't you changed your name from the real Nuwaubian to Sabians? And why are you separating the two? So he's interviewing this guy, right? So this guy he's got a book out called Lightning of the West, excuse me, I'm sorry. And he's saying that, Ty Noonan is in the book, Chuck Morgan is in the book, Unc is in the book from the Emerald Squad, and he's dispelling the lies, right, in this book. The book is like, I think it's over 500 something odd pages long, right? So, make the long story short, they start accepting phone calls, right? So Unc calls in, and he's asking them questions or whatever. The real Nuwaubian, if that even exists, the real Nuwaubian says, every answer, go to my book. Go to my book. Go to my book. No, I don't need you to tell me to go to your book. I don't have your book available right now. It's obvious. So could you answer the question? And this guy never answered questions. He never did. As most Nuwaubians don't. And you know what's so funny? What would have been a good marketing strategy? He could have easily taken his book out and answered the book by reading. Answer the question that Unc was asking by reading the answer to Unc. So it goes to show that was some bull crap going on. You see, this is the problem that I have, man. I'm just being real. SaNeter knows the truth, man. He knows that Dr. York is guilty. He knows that this organization is a cult. SaNeter is damn near, I know if he's not 60, he damn near around it. So he's not stupid. He's wise. He's wise in his age. So I just don't understand why he continues to support these people. I just don't understand it. And they what's so crazy about it, right? I've had my pet peeves with them because guess what? I put out Confessions of an Ex-Nuwaubian, and I put out other videos about the organization as well as Dr. York. And all I've gotten, me, asking simple questions, all I've gotten is death threats. So this is the thing. When it boils down to the Nuwaubians, right? They have 360 questions to ask a Muslim, 360 questions to ask the Christians, 360 questions to ask everybody. But when I ask 10, 15 questions, they can't answer none of them. Like, I give you an example. It's just plain and simple. If Dr. Malachi z.york is the master of the universe and he has the power to summon ships, and he claims that he's from another planet called the Risk, which is located in the 19th galaxy called Eleun, the 8th planet Risk, then why can't you, and he's connected to the Anunnakis or the Netheru, why can't you summon these ships, or why can't you summon your allies to come and get you out of jail? It's just that plain and simple. Being that you're the master of the universe. At first, they was running with the whole theme of him being a master teacher of the world. But now they're saying universe. I just don't get that. And don't give me a cockamamie story like, well, Jesus, they crucified Jesus and Jesus was God. No, I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about master teacher Dr. Malachi z.york. That's what I'm talking about. The second question is, why is it that you're one man, that's Dr. Malachi z.york, one man, but you were born in 3 different places? And this is facts. First, he said he was born in Boston. Then the second one, on the DVD, how can you prove that the Most High exists? He said he was born in Sudan. And now the third, but last, y'all are running with this whole narrative that he was born in Ghana. How can one person be born in 3 different places? I just don't understand that. I don't get it. And this is the BS that I'm talking about. But when I start asking questions, then I'm the bad guy. I'm the devil. I've heard people say, oh, well, you know what, Langston, all he want to do is take people. He making money off of Dr. Malachi z.york. That's what everybody is doing. Well, I'm a y'all don't mess with the wrong one. I'm gonna be real with you. I do want money. I want my money back. I want my money back. All of the books that I purchased, I want my money back. All the DVDs and tapes of lectures, I want my money back from that. Now that I know that this is a cult, now that I know that Dr. Malachi Z.york is nothing but another preacher, a reverend that's just trying to take people money, I want my money back. I want my money back from the $400 that I sent the Blue Lodge to go towards his legal fees. I want my money back. The $300 that I sent, 6 payments of $50 towards Fatima, his mother, that they said it was sick, and she needed to get her prescription filled at the time that she was alive. I want my money back from that, because at the same time they did a DVD about Dr. Sebi, and I'm trying to understand, why couldn't Dr. Sebi just provide the essential herbs in order to heal Fatima? I want my money back from the several times that I have just donated money, cash. So you're right. I want my money back. And I deserve it. I've been scammed. Period. And I know you all like using the number 9, so I want my $9,999 back. I don't know about anybody else, so Chuck Morgan or Tanoon or anyone. I'm not speaking on their behalf. I'm talking about me. I want my money back, and I want my time back. I want my time back. And that's something that you all can't give, and won't give, even if you could. Because this organization, or rather cult, is selfish. So y'all don't want to talk about the bookstores and how they were ran, and how we had to give turn-in every week. Mine was $150 a week. $150 a week. Dig it. I'm gonna break it down to y'all how the bookstores ran, right? So you have turn-in, and then there are times, you rotate in a bookstore. Sometimes I might be in there Monday from 8 to 5 or 10 to 5, right? That normal business hours was 10 to 5, right? Then another person does Tuesdays. Sundays, normally the bookstore shut down, and it's nothing but question and answer class, and that goes from 1 o'clock to about 5 o'clock, right? So throughout this whole week, you in a bookstore, you're hardly selling the books that you purchase, because we used to turn-in was supposed to be the money so we can purchase books to get actually products. So toothpaste, oils, incense, all Malachi Z.york products, right? So turn-in would be for that. But think about this: if I didn't sell the 15 damn books that I sold last week, why am I going back down to buy some more books? It doesn't make sense. That's bad business. It's bad business. So anyway, you would sell books Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday it would be, question and answer class, and then you would say blah 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 blah, and then at the end of that question and answer class, people would spend money. Now, dig this: we had to turn in money, and then when we were working at the bookstore, we didn't get paid for that. And then whatever book we wanted, we had to buy, not wholesale price, not retail. So think about that. I'm giving you $150 for turn-in, and I can't even get one book for free. And let's go even further. We had to pay rent at the bookstore. We had to pay the water bill at the bookstore, the light bill at the bookstore. So nobody doesn't want to go into that. I don't have to go into Dr. York's legal case to tell you that this organization is fucked up. I could talk about the shit that I've been through in a bookstore and just the doctrine within itself. The real Nuwaubians said, but we don't believe in that space cadet shit. But your master teacher does. He said that he was from another planet, and that he has a barytheric gland. And that barytheric gland gives him 4 higher senses, which is clairvoyance, psychometry, telepathy, and what's the last one? Clairvoyance, psychometry, telepathy, and I don't even know, because I don't remember the doctrine like that. But it just doesn't make sense. Your master teacher said this. Your master teacher said he was from another planet. Your master teacher is confused. First he wants to be a Mason, then he wants to be a Muslim, then he wants to be an Egyptian. Can you make up your mind? Can you really make up your mind? And then last but not least, before he got locked up, he came out with this cockamamie story about how Jesus Christ came to him in a dream and told him to give up all of that ancient Sumerian Egyptian shit and get saved. And Dr. York said that. And he got saved and he gave up all this Anunnaki shit. And he came out with the Egyptian Church of Christ. And they were singing gospel music. And on the land, instead of the Om chant, it was the thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. Come on, man. Come on, man. I just want you all to address that. And I'm not, when I call him a schizo, now you're gonna say it's slander, and I'm gonna harm you. I'm gonna do this to you and do that. But he was diagnosed with that. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about when, prior to him going to AtMax, they took him to Button in North Carolina to a crazy house, and he was. They said he was schizo, along with other mental health problems that he had. I'm not making this up. This is truth. This is facts. But when I start talking, people don't want to hear it. People will say I'm a slanderer and I work for the FBI. No, let me tell you something. I ain't gonna tell you what car I drive because then I'm gonna be marked. Anyway, I drive a regular car. I stay in a regular house. I do regular things. I wear American Eagle, jackets and pants and, all active wear. Let me tell you something. I'm saying this for a particular reason. If I was working for the feds, I would be in a mansion. If they were paying me, they would have to pay me good money in order for me to start talking about what I don't even know. I don't even know. What am I What am I actually saying to the feds that they don't know that they don't already know? They already know. But this is what I'm trying to understand. Why, SaNeter, are you supporting them? Why are you putting them on your platform? I just don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Every couple of years, somebody new comes on your platform, and you have every right to have them on your platform. Every year, you come out with some new Nuwaubian. It was Prince. Well, first it was Polite. Then it was Prince York. Then it was some sisters. Then it was another dude that had like some straight hair, like he looked like he was like Indian or something like that. But all of them are always saying Dr. York is innocent, even though when you go to YouTube and you look up Dr. York pled guilty, you can see him in a courthouse saying, I am guilty. And I understand the charges that I'm pleading to. Plain and simple. I don't understand that. I don't get that. And some may say, well, man, why don't you stop making videos about them and move on? Yeah, I'll do that when they stop trying to recruit people to be part of their cult. Because what I'm trying to do is save the babies, man. And nobody shouldn't have to endure what I went through as a Nuwaubian. I had a friend named Hood. He was an older dude, right? He was part of the Ansar Allah community. So he comes home one day, he didn't have his turn in and they whipped his ass and broke his nose. Till this day, he got a scar on his nose from where they broke his nose. Nobody wants to talk about that though, right? Nobody wants to talk about it. I've heard several times Prince York talk about turning and how he dances around it like as if it was, like it wasn't that bad. And we did have to discipline people. No. First of all, you were too young to even know what was going on. That's the first thing. The second thing is, at the end of the day, you don't force people to hand over their money. You don't. For a cause of what? I tell you what the cause was. In order for Dr. York to have Rolls Royces and live in mansions and live like, how those preachers live, like Creflo Dollar. But his congregation is fucked up. I know. I remember one day, man, I went to the bookstore, right? Dude, I ain't gonna mention him because y'all know him. He's like known on YouTube. So I ain't gonna call him out like that, but he know who he is. So anyway, because I've dealt with several Nuwaubians, So several Nuwaubians know who I am. So anyway, went to the bookstore, whatever, come in the bookstore, it was cold. It was very cold that winter, right? I only had one jacket, and that jacket was kind of messed up. So I went and got me a Columbia joint, right? It wasn't a Bugaboo, it was something else, right? But it was Columbia jacket. It wasn't even a thick Columbia jacket. It was one of them thin joints that you can get for like $60, right? So, I'm broke. I give all my money to this organization. I come in, everybody looking at me like, yo, what the fuck? And they were looking at me because I bought a new jacket. And the dude, he used to be the teacher. This guy looking at me because I bought a new jacket, but he got a hole in his shoe. We were living like bums when we were part of that organization. And let me explain something to you. Out of all of the people, I was part of 2 bookstores, right? The second one got robbed by a Nuwaubian. I got stories for days. Stories for days, right? All of that stuff is in the Confessions of an Ex-Nuwaubian, right? So out of 2 bookstores, I could tell you, let's say it was an estimated 20 people that was part of altogether part of those 2 bookstores. I'm not lying. This is my word. Probably 5 are still Nuwaubians. The other 15 are done, just like me. The only reason why you don't hear about these people is because they don't want to tell their business. They're too embarrassed to admit that they got scammed. And I get it. I understand it. It is a quite a bit, embarrassment to let people know, like this video right here, potentially thousands can see this. So I'm letting thousands of people know that this one man scammed the living shit out of me, and I fell for it. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I really thought that this man was from another planet. Not that he could prove it. It's because he said it. That's how much trust I had in one man. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. And this is the reason why in both of my channels, I encourage people to look for that journey within. Look for that God within. That's it. Never believe in one man. Never. Ever. And I just don't understand why SaNeter still is supporting these people and putting them on his platform for the world to see. Because everything that they're saying is nothing but lies. And when you start asking these tough questions, like, since you claim that you're from another planet called Planet Risk, on that planet, what do they eat? Do they drive? What do they like doing? Do they know how to rap? Do they sing? What kind of language do they speak? What do they wear? What type of clothing do they wear? When you start asking those type of questions, like, hey, Dr. York, you remember what you said that Krill healed you, like the Gray came here, left whatever planet he was from, and he came to this planet and he healed you while you were in jail? So my question to you is, while he was healing you, why couldn't you ask him to take you up out of the jail? I just want to understand. I just want to get the understanding. Like, you got all of these connections. You got all of these guys that's from other galaxies that you know. You have 76 trillion years of information in your head. This is what Dr. York preaches. You have 76 trillion years in your head, but you can't manage to figure out how to get out of jail. But you got 76 trillion years of knowledge. I don't understand that. I just don't. Make me understand. And I'll cut a deal with you. If you can make me understand all of this stuff, I'll come back and be a member. And I'll make sure I have my turn in every week. Straight up. That's my word. But these questions that I ask never gets answered because there is no answer. There is no Planet Risk. There is no 19th Galaxy. There is no Krill. It's just bullshit. That's all it is. That plain and simple. I want y'all to look at that book called Man from Planet Risk. Since the real Nuwaubian says that he don't deal with no space cadet shit, and neither does the other Nuwaubians either. But that's not what your master teacher's teaching when he came out with that book called Man from Planet Risk, and he started talking about all of these different beings. And don't give me that shit like, oh, you know, we went through this school and that school and da-da-da-da-da. I don't want to hear that, because that's a poor excuse of you changing, of the reason why you change your doctrine all the time. I don't want to hear that anymore. I'm not going for, yo, people out there, stop going for Nuwaubians saying that we went through different schools. No. Dig this, right? If you went through different schools, right? And those particular books that you went through, as far as you going through those different schools, those particular books that you were reading, you need to stop selling them. This is crazy. Ask them that. Ask them why do they continue to sell the books that they were when they were practicing the ancient Sumerian doctrine, when they were Ansar Allah community. Why do they continue to sell those same books? And in those books, as far as dealing with the ancient Sumerians, they'll say that the ancient Sumerians, well, the Anunnakis were gods, and we were praying to them. Right? They were our gods, Enki, Elil, right? But then later on, Dr. York changes the doctrine and says, now the Anunnakis that we prayed to were actually preying upon us, meaning that they were trying to eat us, and that the Holy Bible is a cookbook. Stop letting them get away with that shit. Stop letting them get away with changing their doctrine and saying, oh, it's nothing but a school. No, it's bullshit. That's what it is. And let me tell you something. If Dr. York wasn't Dr. York, if he wasn't a Nuwaubian and he was looking from the outside looking in at the Nuwaubian nation, he would say it was bullshit. Straight up. Gotta call a spade, man. And y'all gotta give it up. Give this madness up and stop teaching this stuff, because it's not helping no one but Dr. York.